Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. Today, we share how to simplify your logistics processes, specifically for cold storage. I'm Scott McKenzie, Marketing Manager at Mercurius IT, and I'm your host along with my colleague Darshan, who is the lead for supply chain and 3PL. Later on, he will demonstrate the possibilities of our software for cold storage logistics. The webinar will last approximately 50 minutes long. Please ask any questions via the chat box as shown on the screen, and then we will come back to this at the end of the webinar. Okay, today's topics. We will discuss the challenges faced by cold chain logistics. Think of quality and temperature checks, increasing requirements regarding product safety, and the pressure to accurately register all your processes, such as the registration of batch numbers, production dates, and expiration data. In addition, you must continue to meet the changing requirements and wishes of your customers. All in all, that can put a lot of pressure on your organization. That is why, during the demo, Darshan will show how you can get more work done in less time. For example, he will show how you can effortlessly streamline your processes, easily perform quality checks, and record all data in the stock, from tracing items to how you should carry out the procedures. But more about that in a bit. First, let's start with what is happening in cold chain logistics. One of the most important challenges today is change. Increasing competition, a greater demand for information from your customers, new technologies. Change is a continuous process. We have seen most of these changes coming from afar. Even disruptive developments from players like Amazon, Uber, and Tesla can be predicted long before they happen. Yet, no one could have foreseen the changes caused by the corona crisis, sudden and extensive developments in which you, as a logistics service provider, have had to find your way. If we now look at the trends specifically in cold chain logistics, we see that the corona crisis has caused a huge growth in online purchases. An increasing number of online orders for supermarkets, for example, equals more fulfillment services for logistics service providers. Customers are increasingly placing targeted orders as supermarkets become better at knowing how much they need to purchase and when they want to receive the goods. As a result, the focus is increasingly shifting to order picking, and you are increasingly dealing with just-in-time delivery. As a logistics service provider, you must be able to respond to this change. With the right tools in hand, you can process larger volumes with minimal actions, and you can get more work done in less time. That makes a difference because then you can focus on other things like how to meet the wishes of customers. Your software solution should be capable enough to adapt to future changes in business operations. 3PL Dynamics is specifically designed for logistics service providers. It's user-friendly, easily configurable, and any changes can be implemented quickly with less cost and time. So, what are the quick wins when using this software? Here are the 5 topics we're going through. Control quality and temperature without administration frustration. Darshan will soon show how you can effortlessly perform quality checks without all the time and effort and complications around administration. A second quick win is recording product data, such as the expiry date obligation, but also the way in which you have to carry out the procedures. Think of a temperature measurement on the inbound-outbound document or breakage report. In addition, products must always be traceable, for example, on the basis of batch number or expiry date. Darshan will therefore show you how you can guarantee full traceability in just a moment. You can also save a lot of time by integrating your communication with customs and NVWA via EDI. And finally, to measure is to know. Of course, you want to be able to identify which customers are profitable and which cost money. For how all this exactly works in the software itself, I'll hand over to Darshan. Thank you, Darshan.
Thank you, Scott. Hello, everyone, and thanks again for joining this webinar. We are going to see now the 3PL Dynamics features, which are specifically for the cold store operations. We will also see how warehouse user can perform their day-to-day activities using 3PL Dynamics mobile app platform, and how this app platform can help to streamline the warehouse operations. When Office user logs into 3PL Dynamics, based on the role assigned to him in 3PL Dynamics, he can see certain activities on his dashboards. For example, receipts. Receipts transactions can be grouped in certain status flags. For example, how many receipts are expected in this week, how many receipts with status new, arrived, unloading, and desk ready. Office user can further drill down to each of these tiles and see the detailed view of the expected receipts. User can further click and open the respective document and check the status. Similarly, shipment activities, customer items, my customer view. User can create a quick shortcut view for all the customers or important customers which he is looking for. Let's take an example of Kronos Foods Company Limited. User can open the customer card from here. New customers will be registered in the customer master. This is the general information about the customer. Address and contact details. 3PL Dynamics allows to maintain multiple contacts under one customer organization. Transport model related details. Warehouse or WMS related details. For example, invoice period. What would be the invoicing period for this customer? Other mandatory parameters, for example, batch number series. If there is any specific SSCC number, series can be assigned here. External batch number to be made it mandatory during transactions. Whether weight should be mandatory. Expiry date should be mandatory during all transactions. So these are the certain global settings can be enabled at customer level, which are required to capture this data in the cold store operations. Again, for the other information, posting details. So these details will integrate customer transactions with the general ledgers. Payment terms, payment methods, payment terms, and shipping details. Let's have a look at the customer item details. All products related to one customer will be registered under that customer name. Let's take an example of fresh chicken breast from the Kronos Foods Company. The product can be classified based on various categories. Category, subcategory, product groups, tariff details, country of origin, condition and receipts. So what should be the condition receipt? Ambient, chilled, frozen. Similarly, what should be the condition at storage? Under what temperature, or whether it should be ambient, chilled, or frozen? What temperature control zones required for this specific product? This can be defined here, and this can be further used for a put away strategies. Different types of unit of measures and pallet types which will be used at various transactions. For example, in the inbound receipt transaction, what would be the carrier type? That is a type of pallet. Unit of measure, let's say cartons or boxes. Similarly, on the shipping side, it will always be a cartons. What would be the storage unit of measures? Default cycle counting method. Reservation method based on expiry date. It means the first expiry will be picked first. Item tracking, batch number series. 3PL Dynamics assigns a unique batch number for every incoming product. The batch number can be generated by the system based on the predefined criteria. For example, here in this example, I have configured custom item number and external batch number, that is a manufacturer's batch number. So based on these two attributes, system will always generate a unique batch number and it will be assigned to the products when they are received. Mandatory parameters, external batch number mandatory during creation and posting, production date mandatory, expiry date mandatory, whether freezing date is mandatory or not, weight mandatory. So these mandatory settings will automatically get copied from the customer card. So this ensures that global setting defined on specific customer are copied to all the products of that specific customer. Let's have a look at the receipt transaction. This is a receipt document which can be created automatically through the EDI platform. These are receipt transaction for Kronos Food Company Limited. On the line section, the product details are entered. Product description, number of carriers, quantity per carriers, mandatory parameters like external batch number, production date, and expiry date. If these parameters are mandatory, then system will not allow to change the status without this information. On the right-hand side, there is some shortcut or additional information in the fact box. For example, statistics of this document, how many total carriers, total gross weight, line details, information about the specific product details. It quickly shows how many already in storage, how many in receipts for this specific batch number. User can also drag and drop external files in the form of PDF or any other images in these folders. Once container arrives at the office user will change the status of this receipt document to the next level, that is 20 arrived. Once the status of this document changes to 20 arrived, warehouse user will, from his app platform login, he can see all those receipt transactions on a specific building. These are the all receipts which are arrived at the warehouse. So these two platforms talk to each other seamlessly, and flow of information from office user to warehouse users or warehouse shop floor happens seamlessly through the app platform. User will select the specific receipt, will accept it. Now further, a checklist can be designed where user will answer the specific question. For example, whether trailer is clean or not, any pest activity. In case of any abnormality identified, system will update a flag in a receipt document here with the comments, and that receipt can be identified on dashboard by office users. These are the carriers or pallets which are unloaded, and these are the expected quantity or number of cartons on those pallets. Warehouse user will start scanning operation using the app platform on the handheld device. Let me just quickly copy one of this. User will scan. System will ask for the temperature. Temperature recording is mandatory during the inbound process. Now, to speed up the operation, there are various methods can be used to configure the temperature measurement. For example, these are the three examples we have taken for today's demonstration. Temperature reading of first pallet from every layer can be copied to subsequent pallets during the scanning process. For example, these are the three layers, front, middle, and back. Once user records the physically temperature of first pallet and enters into the app platform, system will automatically copy the temperature of first pallet to subsequent pallets. Then user will again record the temperature of the first pallet of the second layer, and that will copy to automatically subsequent pallets of that layer. Second method could be temperature reading of first pallet is copied till 10 pallet. So it means after every 10th pallet, user has to physically record the temperature and update on the app platform. Third method could be enter new temperature reading if product code changes. So if there are multiple products in the same container, user will scan the pallets randomly, and if there is a change in product, system will ask to key in the recorded temperature. This ensures that scanning process is done very quickly and faster. Also, quality of the data for the temperature recording is maintained in the system. So if I scan the second pallet, system copies the temperature of the last or previous pallet automatically. In case of any damages, user can mark a specific pallet as a damage carrier. So this will add a flag against that pallet as a damaged one. Let's enter the physically recorded temperature -6. Accept. Once warehouse user starts scanning the pallets from app platform, the status of the receipt document automatically changes to 40 unloading. So this ensures that the communication bit from the warehouse team and the office team is happens seamlessly through the 3PL dynamics. In case of abnormal conditions or in case of damage, office user can raise the request here. Create request. Select the category. That's a distribution issue. Subcategory damaged goods. System automatically updates the problem, expected problem, cause, solution, and action. So these all metrics of the problem, cause, solution, action can be defined in the 3PL dynamics. And according to this category, system updates these details here. The incident or request can be assigned to a specific person to take action on this. And similarly, status can be tracked for that specific request. This ensures that quality assurance of the process has been taken care. If customer has requested a quality checks during the inbound process, same can be taken care. Office user can generate a quality check document which can generate the quality task for the warehouse users, and warehouse user can see those tasks on the app platform. So this ensures whatever quality checks has been asked by the customer, those has been taken care during those receiving or shipment transactions. Pictures. 3PL dynamics can be accessed on the tablet devices. User can take the pictures of damaged pallets or any other abnormal conditions of the trailer or container. These pictures will be attached to this receipt document. The user can generate the request to resolve that. Once the scanning operation is completed, 3PL dynamics generates the put away activities. Put away activities are generated based on the warehouse strategies. Let's see different methods or scenarios which can be configured using the warehouse strategies. Warehouse strategy, put away strategy helps to assign correct location based on the product storage requirements. Tonnage and cubic capacity of the location is also being considered. These are the three examples, let's say, required blast freezing before storage. Certain customer products, if they always need a blast freezing, then system will generate the put away activities accordingly. So pallets will always go to the blast freezing first, and from there, it will be taken to the respective storage locations. Product specific temperature control zone. If certain products need certain temperature control zone, so warehouse strategies can generate the put away activities accordingly. Dedicated racks and locations for the customers. If certain racks or locations are dedicated for certain customer products, according to that, 3PL Dynamics generates the put away activities. Let's three examples. Red meat. When red meat arrives, it needs to always send to the blast freezer and then always has to send to the zone 1, which is maintained at -5 degrees Celsius. 3PL Dynamics, with the help of warehouse strategy feature, generates the put away activities. Warehouse user can see those tasks on the app platform. He will move the pallets according to the generated put away activities. Product specific dedicated zone. Apples, they always has to go to zone 2, which is maintained at 10 degrees Celsius. And third scenario, tomatoes, which are dedicatedly has to go to zone 3. So zone 3 is dedicated, let's say, for a particular customer. So these are such scenarios can be configured in 3PL Dynamics using the warehouse strategy. Let me scan one pallet over here. When user scans the pallet, system suggests a proposed location, and user can go to that specific location, or user can override this proposed location by the system. So this helps user to take action according to the put away generated by the warehouse strategies. Contracts and invoicing, service and WMS contract. It helps to configure complex storage calculation and various service charges. Optional service charges added from the mobile app platform during the transactions, like label printing, shrink wrapping, or any other optional services. Those can be added in the WMS contracts of the customer, and it can be automatically added from the app platform or by the office user from the receipt document. Default service charges, RHND charges, for example, added automatically based on the contract conditions, helps to avoid revenue leakages. So default charges and quantity calculation, depending on whether it's a number of pallets or total weights or number of containers handled. So such kind of condition can be configured in WMS contract, and system automatically added those default charges when the receipt document or any other document transaction is moved to the last status. This ensures that charges are accurately added in the transactions and there is no revenue leakages. Service price agreements. Accurate prices are applied based on the volume and other configured contracts criteria. For example, prices can be configured in the customer contracts based on the number of pallets or total weights handled. The quantities based on the quantity slab, prices can be configured. This ensures that correct prices are applied during the transactions and there is accurate invoice go to the customer, which makes sure that there is less complaints from the customer side. Let's have a look at the WMS contract in 3PL Dynamics. This is a WMS contract. You can define the validity of the contract here. Various transactions against which charges can be applied. For example, receipt, shipment, customer transfer transaction, value-added logistics services. Further, against every transactions, you can define the various services. Let's say during receipt, these are storage cost, and these are the various services. Optional services can be flagged as these are the optional services. For default charges, prices can be configured based on quantity slabs. In this example, let's say the charge is 1.2 pounds per pallet for 1 to 50 pallets handled. Subsequently, prices will vary. Similarly, other charges like electricity surcharges can be also configured in the WMS contract. These surcharge will be added in the final invoice based on the formula. For example, surcharge in terms of percentage of the total storage cost. So such kind of formulas can also be configured to apply the electricity surcharge in the invoicing process. Process workflow and configuration, easy to configure, unlike traditional WMS software solutions, where any change in future business process, it needs a customization and time to implement the same within the business operations. 3PL Dynamics offers a configurable approach for such kind of scenarios. It's easy to configure WMS process and workflows, flexible to adapt future process changes without customizations, less time and less cost to configure and implement new process changes. Scan views and status templates. These are the two powerful features which brings in the configurable approach and ensures that your WMS system is ready for the future. For example, this is a screenshot of the app platform. In this screen, if I want to add any new field or I want to hide any information, this can easily be done using the scan view configuration. There is no need to do any customization for the same. Modify existing warehouse processes without any customization to WMS application, saves time and cost to implement dynamic change in the business operations. Status templates defines various statuses through which various process will go through. For example, new, confirm, in process. Status templates helps to build the workflow for each and every transaction within the WMS operations. Let's see one example over here for the receipt transaction. These are the default statuses been configured for receipt process. So whenever any new receipt document is created, it has to go through these all stages. And every stage is linked to a specific workflow function. There could be a mandatory steps which can be implemented, and user has to follow those steps before it goes to the next level. In this example, let's say on the 90 closed status, system will automatically add the default services in the receipt document, and it will send the receipt confirmation to the customer. So this helps, the status template helps to build these workflows and automated transactions. DataHub-EDI integration platform. 3PL Dynamics does have its own EDI integration platform. It means there is no dependency on the third-party EDI platform. It is based on Microsoft Azure platform, safe and transparent, always up to date and cost effective. DataHub supports almost all types of EDI integration file formats. Integration with warehouse control system, WCS. 3PL Dynamics can be integrated with WCS for automated warehouse facility as well. 3PL Dynamics does have capability to get integrated with the WCS system. So that's it. Thank you so much for the listening. If you have any questions, please share your questions and queries. Thank you. Scott, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Darshan. That brings us to the end of this webinar. Before responding to your questions, we'll summarize what was shown. We demonstrated how to effortlessly perform quality and temperature checks, easily record batch numbers, production dates, and best before data, and track goods throughout the process. In addition, Darshan showed how you can gain insight into the earnings per customer with the help of Power BI, and that you can automate communication to a large extent with EDI. You can also avoid revenue leakages and maintain accurate invoicing And overall, 3PL Dynamics is a future-proof solution for logistics, not only cold storage, but also for warehousing, transport, freight, and more. With that being said, we would like to conclude the webinar and respond to any questions. Okay, I'll just check that now. Okay, Darshan, there's one question that is asking so it's saying here for the cold storage side of 3PL Dynamics, does that easily integrate and work smoothly with the warehousing and transport sides as well?
So 3PL Dynamics, it does have WMS, TMS, and FMS, that is Freight Management System. All these modules are built on the same platform and seamlessly integrated with each other. It means these all three modules seamlessly talk to each other. For example, in case of WMS and TMS, so through trip documents, the trip management, route planning, everything happens seamlessly between WMS and TMS.
Great. Okay, thank you. And there's another question here. It says, does it have an inbuilt finance module?
Yes, it does have inbuilt finance module. Since 3PL Dynamics is built on Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, it seamlessly integrates with its finance module. So invoicing, that is accounts receivables, any accounts payables, general ledgers, fixed assets. So these all modules are there in the 3PL Dynamics, which is a base module of the Business Central.
Great, excellent. And someone else says, so that they're asking here about how easy it is to make sure that all regulations are followed. How is it that any new cold storage regulations and how do you stay compliant with all of those? That's what this question here is saying.
Yeah, so using the status template, we can build those workflows as I demonstrated in my presentation. So for example, during inbound transactions, for a specific products, let's say if we have defined a specific certification which is required and is expiry date on the product level for that certificate. So if that specific expiry date already been expired during the inbound transactions, when the document status moves to a particular status, system can pop up an error message. So this is just one example. So using status templates, we can make sure these complaints have been taken care.
Okay, great. Thank you. Another question here, it says, so 3PL Dynamics is a modular solution. What does this mean and what kind of flexibility do I have if I want to keep it small and not have a massive cost with multiple, a huge amount of modules? So how does it work about it being a modular solution?
3PL Dynamics within the WMS solution, there is an essential and advanced. So in advanced module, it offers a certain advanced features of customs, and there are other few features like voice picking and all. So if you want to keep it very simple initially during when you plan your implementation, so you can go with the basic features. You can choose those basic features and start your implementations.
Great. Okay. So it can be tailored. So according to the number of modules, according to what a business really needs.
Yes.
Great. Excellent. So just checking to see if there's any more. Okay. Yep. There's one more here. It says, what is another way that Business Central and 3PL Dynamics work really well together and that they complement each other and really bring out each other's strengths in terms of improving efficiency overall for a business?
Yeah, so in terms of a platform, technology platform, that is very added advantage. So it is available on on-premise as well as on SaaS. So that is on the technology side. Integration with the finance. So that is another advantage there. There are other standard features of purchase orders and also that also you can use based on the licenses. So that's the advantage when you go with the 3PL Dynamics. So it brings in the other features of the Business Centrals as well. You can also use the basic CRM module within the Business Central depending on the licenses.
Thanks very much, Darshan. That's very helpful. All right, so no new questions are coming in, so I think we can finish this session today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your insight, Darshan. And thank you very much, everyone, for participating in this webinar. We hope the content was interesting and valuable to you. For more information about 3PL Dynamics, please visit our website, mercuriusit.com. Discover the capabilities for not only cold storage, but also warehousing overall, transport, and freight. If you have any questions, please contact us at info@mercuriusit.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. For now, thank you again for your participation, and we hope to see you soon.